This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's go to Lauren in Ohio. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Hey, Josh. Love your show.
Thank you so much.
We did this to ourselves. So, you know, a kick in the pants is what it took to get me on my knees to Jesus. So, you know, what are you going to do? But I was laughing about a lot of the things that you were talking about. As far as solutions go, come out it for my people. Okay, there's only one way. This is a land of aces. We're the American aces. We're arrogant, we're ignorant, and we're selfish. We don't understand how the law works. The Constitution, for instance, which is a body of negative law, to rule and reign the maids and the butlers. Keep them in check, not tell us what to do. I mean, what in the world are we thinking? We as Christians are not supposed to be led or ruled by men. You know, what was the chant when they founded the country? No king but Jesus. You know, what's the first commandment? Have no other gods before me. And what are we doing? Running around trying to figure out how to pay for Obamacare? Get out of here. I mean, running around trying to figure out how to turn our guns in or take a shot? Shut up. I mean, just stop doing what these people say. You know, here's an easy solution that doesn't cost anybody anything. First off, obey God. Obedience is better than sacrifice. He doesn't want what you think is best. He wants you to do what he said. It's 10 little commandments. You can do it. Keep your money in your pocket. Why are you paying these people your money? God didn't even ask for this kind of the bulk of the fruit of your labor. You know what I mean? The priest didn't get that. Aaron didn't get paid that kind of money. You know, 10% was the tithe. Even in the fiefdoms, 30% was all they wanted. Because, you know, you had to have something for yourself. Well, not with these crazy people. And that's what you get for obeying madmen. And the last one is, keep your children in your homes. How did God tell you to educate your children? Did he say, hand them over to a third party that doesn't believe in me and teaches them to lie and steal? What are we living in right now? A great big lie where you could take a 3-cent cotton piece of paper, give it to the Federal Reserve with a number stamped on it, and then say, okay, you owe the whole debt. When the whole point is, what does money represent? The stored fruit of a man's labor. That's what money is. That's why gold and silver, what does God say the money is in the Bible? Gold, silver, land, cattle. The fruit of a man's labor is what's supposed to be represented by all those pieces of paper. And that's what I'm saying. He said, be honest in your weights and your measures. Truth just is. We need to be righteous again. You are right, Josh, when you say we're cowards. We are. And there's no need to be afraid. There is no need at all to be afraid. They're the ones that are afraid that you'll ever figure this out. But you keep giving your children to them for them to lie to and tell them about evolution. You know, tell them that the Constitution gives you the rights. Constitution doesn't give you rights to anything. The Constitution is privileges and duties for those who are, if you want to be a 14th, Amendment, little c citizen under the subjugation, subject to the Constitution. You have every right to do that. God said you could choose to be a slave if you wanted to, but you can be his slave too. And this whole thing with the sovereign citizen movement, God's the sovereign. There is no sovereign citizen. God's the sovereign. We're the subject. We're his slave. And as slaves, we're free because he gave us free will. And the cool thing about all of this is the Constitution backs it all up. If you look at a U.S. passport application, who can get a U.S. passport? U.S. citizens and non-citizen nationals who are not subject to the rules, codes, regulations, and statutes of this federal government. So when you see them saying, you as a parent have to put your children in school, no, you don't. You're the mother. You're the father. You're not a parent. Why do you think they want to get rid of that terminology in California? Because it's legalese. It's the way they con you. And remember, if you look at the Bill of Rights, there's a clause prior to the Bill of Rights. It says that it wants to get the confidence of the people in the government. Where did God say to put your confidence? You know what I mean, Josh?
I do, and I'm glad you're out there. I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad that you like the show, and you are absolutely 100% right. They try to, and this is what I was talking about, they try to come at us from all angles. They want to say, oh, well, you believe in God? Well, then God said you should just obey me. Oh, you want to raise your own children? No, we're not going to make that legal. And it's just not here in America, and that's kind of what I like about this show. We have listeners in 150 countries now. But this fight is everywhere. There are parents in Northern Europe who are hiring having essentially their own personal SWAT teams to take their children away from the government. And why were the kids taken in the first place? Because those parents were trying to homeschool. And they try to attack you. Oh, you believe in homeschool? You're nuts. Oh, you believe in a God? You're nuts. Oh, you believe in freedom? Oh, you're nuts. So they're trying to create this culture. And that's why I'm saying culture is so vitally important. They know when they control the culture, they control the citizens. And we need to redevelop that culture. Right now, all we're doing is realizing that, hey, we're in trouble, and there's a lot of shows that yell and scream at the microphone and point out, hey, we're captive, we're captive. Well, okay, great, that's awesome to know that. But now that you know that, what's the plan? What's the strategy, buddy? How do we get out of this? And how you get out of it is doing what you're doing, Lauren. You live your faith. You live your culture, and then you spread it to other people. And when that spreads and grows and spreads and grows, not only do you grow it within your circle, but it has this ability to then be multiplied. And you and I think it's because of God, but whatever, you can be an atheist and still believe in liberty. But as it grows and multiplies, you start to win the hearts and souls of people who even used to be your captors, and they start saying, wait a second, I can't obey that order, boss. I cannot do it because these people are free. And it's vitally important. So take the time to do what Lauren is doing and re-examine your life and say, hey, is it feasible for us to educate our own children? It makes more sense. They come out better educated. And that's a perfect example, too. Remember when they used to lie to people? In the 70s and 80s, I remember it, they used to lie to people and say, oh, well, if you homeschool, they're not going to be as educated. Well, then they started winning scholarships, spelling bees, getting into college at 14. Well, if you raise your own children, then they're not going to be socially developed because the education lie didn't work. Have to go over the emotional heartstring there. Well, they're not going to be socially developed. And what happened? Well, we find out that kids who are homeschooled are actually more productive in society than the kids who are subjugated to the threats of violence, the terrible education system. So they're coming out better ahead. Well, now we're just going to try to make it illegal. And then there's states that are trying to say, no, you have to be a certified licensed teacher in order to teach in your own home. It's absolutely crazy. Keep fighting the good fight, Lauren. I'm glad you're out there. To all of our callers, thank you. We did have a question. Josh, will you bring up the topic of mixing business with politics? I've heard you do it before, but I want to hear it again. Ran out of time today. Maybe we'll get to that one tomorrow. So today, tomorrow, and as always,